on the CoronaCast, I have Mansi, who is an artist who's used the few months during the lockdown and the coronavirus to basically create her own profile of interesting and colorful work. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of things from her artistic journey to the effect of the pandemic on her life and a few of her views on art today. Yeah, it's good to have you, Mansi, on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So tell me a little bit about your artistic journey.
So, professionally, I'm not an artist. As you had already given an introduction about me, I'm an architect. But art has been a really big part of who I am as a person. The whole reason I got into architecture was because of my inclination towards art and design. And throughout college, also, I was trying and exploring as much as I could, painting here and there, as it has always been my hobby, and I never really gave up on it. But this lockdown gave me a lot of time to revisit my hobbies, to revisit the things that I used to love. And I proceeded further and I started painting even more. And it has come to a point where it has sort of become a routine. Like I can't go a day without painting. It's my happy place.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So, one question I ask everyone who comes on the
Hmm.
podcast, and surprisingly, everyone has a different answer and a different view to
Okay.
this. So, what's been the most profound impact on your daily schedule because of the lockdown and the pandemic?
So I'm a kind of a person who cannot sit idle. I need to keep myself occupied. I need to keep on doing something or the other. I can't sit idle. So this lockdown gave me a lot of time to, just explore my interests, try new things, learn new things, because because I did not want it to waste even a single moment. I thought that this is a time when we've got to, enhance our skills, maybe make the most of it since the world had come to a halt. So what better use than revisiting your hobbies, learning something new? So this lockdown had impacted me very much. Like if somebody used to ask me what do you do all day in the lockdown, like I had so much going on. In fact, I used to say that this time it seemed less because I wanted to do so much, but I did not have that much time to do everything.
Yeah, I think it's all about, going back to becoming like a student or a learner and learning new things
Yeah,
in a
like
way.
in the daily day-to-day routine, you are so stuck up in work that there are a lot of things that you wish you could do, but you don't have that much time that you can do it. So this lockdown actually came as a blessing in disguise when you could actually go back and do whatever things you wanted to do when you did not have that much time. So I actually did not waste even a moment of it, and I'm really happy how it turned out to be.
Okay, so India has a very big country, and
Mm-hmm,
till now there's been cases are spreading, and that every news channel has its own opinion on whether the government has done enough, what they should
mm-hmm,
do. What do you
mm-hmm.
think? Do you think the government has done enough? What is your opinion on that?
Every story has a good and a bad side. Like there are two sides to a coin. The government did take some substantial steps. Complete lockdown was very necessary and it was a very crucial step the government did take. But I think that there was more that the government could have done because we like being aware is something which is important, and we do used to see in the news that how hospitals they lack basic amenities, people who were actually affected by the coronavirus, how they're being treated, how they're not really getting the proper treatment they should be getting. Some places do have medical facilities in place, but some places were lacking big time. So I think on that part there was a misjudgment of the situation by the government. They could have handled it better so that things could have been contained.
If I'm not wrong, you're from Rajasthan, right? Or you live
Yeah,
in
yeah. I'm from Jaipur.
Jaipur. Okay. And do you currently live in Jaipur?
Yeah, I'm living in Jaipur only.
Okay. So I don't know if you've been tracking the news in Rajasthan, but
Hmm.
the state government in Rajasthan has
Hmm.
had a few this thing with Sachin Pilot being
Yeah,
taken off from his
I
post.
I
So
know, but I was traveling yesterday. I came back from Bangalore, I had traveled to Bangalore. The one thing
Okay.
that I could see was like Bangalore has a really, really strong system in place. When I landed in Bangalore at the airport, there was screening, like multiple screenings, 14-day home quarantine, anybody who was visiting. They were really taking steps because Bangalore situation has really gone out of hand. But when I came back to Jaipur, they just checked my temperature and they let me go. They did not even do any screening. There was no system in place. So this is a very big mistake the government is doing in their part because they are not really understanding the severity of the situation. Like Bangalore, there are a lot of cases in comparison to Jaipur, but that does not mean that we can take it leniently. We need to be strict with our rules. So
Because
I
I
feel
think
that
all
there
it
is,
takes is one case, or a few
yeah,
cases.
exactly. So that was like I saw it firsthand, and it's not like people aren't traveling. The flight that I was coming back in, it was fully packed. It was so scary to see all of it. It was so scary.
So, having been an artist for some time and
Hmm.
pursuing art, what do you think
Hmm.
is most important trait in an artist?
The most important trait of an artist, according to me, is imagination. If you don't possess the imagination, I don't think that creating art is even possible. Like the most important thing an artist wants, needs, is looking for is inspiration, and inspiration comes through imagination. If you lack the basic imagination, where would you even find the inspiration to create the art that you want to create? So according to me, I think imagination is the most important part.
When you look at pieces of modern art, sometimes they're
Mhm,
just like, a canvas with a shade of blue, or maybe
mhm,
a canvas with maybe just two colors splashed across. Like,
mhm,
if you ask your 3-year-old to do something, they most likely will be
mhm,
able to do it.
mhm,
So, do you think that these pieces actually require skill, or are they just, overpriced pieces that people
mhm.
buy?
Of
You think?
course they do. Of course they do. See, when people look at art, there is there is a visual connect and there is an emotional connect. There are two parts to an artwork. So what you're talking about is just the visual connect, what you just see. But there's always a story behind what is being seen in front, what the artist made. So that what makes the artwork unique. When you ask an artist why he put that stroke on the canvas, he would have a story behind every single stroke. A 3-year old just paints aimlessly. He does not have any thought process, any imagination going on behind it. But an artist, a full-fledged artist who actually put thought into that painting, will be able to tell you why he made it and what is the story behind it. That's what makes it unique, and that's why the skill is important and it is worth what it is.
So, do you believe that art can be a powerful medium to spread messages?
Of course,
And
it can be like history is proof. There have been so many movements based on art. If you go into history, Renaissance, French Revolution, you can see there were some powerful posters that were made. Art has connected people across continents, not even countries. So art is a very powerful medium. Like there can be language barrier, but art connects people speaking different languages also. It's a universal medium. It connects you, me, everybody, irrespective of caste, gender, age.
what are your thoughts about the art scene in India versus maybe in the US or in New York? And
Hmm.
and what do you think India has to improve on when it comes to art, especially in the commercial space?
I think in the commercial space, we do have an individual identity. We have a strong cultural background, and we as artists, as Indians, should embrace it. I have seen some works where people are just blindly following the Western culture, but we do have a really rich history, rich background, rich culture for which we actually are famous and known for. And we as Indians can differentiate ourselves from the Western culture by pushing forward our history, our culture, our backgrounds. And I think that would make us unique and that would make us stand out. So we should embrace our identity. I somehow see that Indian market, Indian people are losing their identity over westernization. And I would really be happy if I see more artists coming with original content based on the surroundings, the upbringing that we have in our country.
Okay, especially in southern India. I don't know how much this extends to the northern parts, but a lot of artists and artisans are basically individual sets or units, and there is
Mm-hmm.
no like at least I don't know of any major artists like you can identify with
Mm-hmm.
different type of styles, right? You'll
Mm-hmm.
find it with cities, right? Maybe even which parts of the cities may have different styles,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not like one main
Mm-hmm.
artist like a icon who represents
Mm-hmm.
style.
I think the main problem lies in the community. We don't really have an art community here that brings people together and lift everybody up. Here, people what people are trying to do here is they're trying to make their individual mark on the society. But what we see outside is that they have a strong community in place where one is lifting the other. Artists are supporting other artists. They're not competing other artists. But what's happening here is competition, which is actually killing everything and not really bringing us in focus and uplifting us. So we really need to bring ourselves together as a community. We need to uplift others, not just think about ourselves, but the people around us as well.
So, like, do you believe there is a missing like aggregators, which basically brings artists either locally or online together? Because or are there platforms in India today that aggregate and
The only platform I am thinking of right now through which I can sell my art is Etsy, which is not even an Indian company, but they have a market for Indian customers. But it is very limited and not really many people know of it. And I was also searching for a platform where I could sell my artwork, where people could reach me, I could reach other people. But unfortunately, I did not come across any. And I think we do need something like that in place so that artists like me can grow, can prosper, can spread, can create awareness about our artwork.
so do you believe that there's a big enough number of artists to
There are, because I did see a lot of people selling on Etsy, Indian people, but obviously the target market is Americans, not Indians. But there are a lot of people who are resorting to Etsy. Like I'm pretty sure that if something local would pop up, they would be really interested rather than investing in an American company like Etsy.
so what are the main things you would look at as an artist? What would be the main features of a web aggregating website or that would
I would look for a
attract you?
platform where I can reach people first of all. Like
Okay.
that would give me a platform that would give me a space where I can showcase all I can do. Obviously, the cost is a big factor since people who artists like me, I'm not like a really full-fledged artist or a big artist, I'm a small artist. So people like me would not really want to invest too much capital into it. So I would want to look at something which is economical, which is affordable for me, and through which I can reach people basically.
So I think we covered a lot of topics from
Yeah, we did actually.
and yeah, and I think you even have a page on Etsy, right, by the name of the
Yeah,
Corner Store.
I'm trying to sell my artwork. I go by the name The Corner Store by Mansi. So if you like my work, you can purchase from there.
Yeah, so go check it out, and if you like anything, please do purchase. The link will be in the description. Thanks.
Thank you.